Welcome to Reddit Echoes, where seemingly ordinary stories explode with more drama than your favorite Netflix series. In today's episode, we dive into a series of true Reddit stories, from a roommate faking a pregnancy just to steal someone's boyfriend and kick them out, to a devastating revelation that the man someone called dad their whole life wasn't their father at all. Plot twists, savage revenge, and moments so wild you'll say, "No way. That can't be real." Don't look away, because the deeper we go, the more you'll realize real life is messier than fiction. Story 1. Frogging It, the Popcorn Nightmare. I used to think I was a pretty chill guy. Pineapple on pizza. You do you. Take your shoes off at my place, cool. Brush your teeth after dinner and before bed. That's a bit much, but hey, no judgment. Then I met her, and then frogging happened. It all started like any quirky love story. She was funny, charmingly weird. The kind of girl who'd watched too much New Girl and thought talking to houseplants was mindfulness. We fell in love, moved in together. And then came that night on Netflix. I was lounging on the couch, popcorn between us. I casually tossed a few kernels in my mouth. Chill, classic. Then came the noise. Slurp, plick. I turned to her. She was holding a fistful of popcorn, leaning forward and using her tongue like a frog to drag each kernel into her mouth. I witnessed something beyond human comprehension. I blinked. What are you doing?" She beamed. "I'm frogging it." "Excuse me." I thought she was joking. Nope, this was a ritual, a lifestyle, a personal religion dedicated to devouring popcorn by tongue. At first I laughed it off, chalked it up to adorably weird. Then it happened again. And again, always with that slurping plick, plick, plick noise and her giggling like a sugar-high 6-year-old. And that's when I realized she literally didn't know how to eat popcorn with her hands. Frogging wasn't a bit. It was default mode, like her brain had mapped snack time to become frog. I tolerated it for a while, then gently brought it up. "Hey, babe. Maybe we could eat popcorn the normal way." She rolled her eyes. "You can't control how I eat." Fair. But I also didn't sign up to cohabitate with a cosplay Kermit. Then it escalated. She started frogging at the movies, at my friend's house, on the bus. She even taught my 5-year-old niece how to do it. My life turned into a nightmare ASMR loop, 45 minutes a night of slurp, plick, hey, hey. And then I made the biggest mistake. I posted on Reddit, RAITA, titled, "Am I the jerk for asking my girlfriend to stop frogging popcorn around me?" Reddit exploded. Half the comments called me controlling. The other half said I should relocate, change my name, and live somewhere popcorn doesn't exist. Then she found the post. I thought it was over. But instead, we actually talked. Like, really talked. She admitted she never realized it bothered me that much, that she'd thought it was funny, even cute, and if I'd been clearer, she would have stopped long ago. She said my Reddit post made me sound like a control freak, and honestly, she was right. We decided no more popcorn on movie nights. We're breaking up with popcorn, not each other. She now proudly calls herself a culinary innovator, and even wants to start a blog, Frogging with Joy. As for Reddit guys offering to adopt her, she replied, "Thanks, but no thanks." We even started couples counseling to improve communication. I went back to therapy. Turns out what I've got is called misophonia, a sensitivity to eating sounds. Wish I'd known that earlier. Might have saved some drama. Now we're good. No more frogging in my face. No more plick, plick, hey, he during Breaking Bad. We've made peace with the popcorn. It stays in the cabinet, not our relationship. And hey, if you ever meet someone who says they're frogging it, don't panic. They might just be fun. Or a reincarnated amphibian. Who knows? Have you ever dated someone with a truly bizarre habit? Comment below. I need to know I'm not alone in this weird, weird universe. Story 2. My best friend stole my life and I didn't see it coming. I never believed in cheesy soap opera drama. You know the type, best friends turning into backstabbers, surprise love triangles, people crying under rain while whispering, "How could you?" I always thought that stuff only existed in bad Netflix scripts. You know, where the sweet, naive main character gets betrayed by the blonde best friend or the charming guy who just happens to fix her sink every week. Yeah. Until I became the main character. Lynn and I had been best friends since college. She had everything I didn't, a voice like honey smiley eyes that made everyone feel special, even when she honestly didn't care. Meanwhile, I was the girl who kept spreadsheets, packed her lunch, and reminded everyone, "Hey, today's the deadline." So when I met Quan, the guy who eventually became my fiancé, I was shocked when he liked me, not Lynn. He pursued me, brought me coffee at work, remembered my mom's birthday. He once told me, "I love how quietly kind you are." Okay, yeah, it was corny. But I believed him. We were together for 3 years. Lynn, she remained my ride or die. She'd drop by to pick me up when I was sick, and she was the first person I called when Quan proposed during a little picnic in Jalat. She cried when I showed her the ring. She said, "You deserve everything good in this world." And me, blissfully stupid, hugged her and said, "You'll stand beside me at the altar right after the wedding. Things were good until they weren't." Quan started traveling more. He felt distant. Little things changed. He changed. His phone passcode, chuckled at his screen more often when I wasn't looking, and then one day just said it, "I need space." Sorry what we hadn't fought. No big arguments. But suddenly he was renting a studio apartment just for a few months. I was heartbroken. Guess who comforted me through it all, Lynn? She brought lemon tarts, watched sad movies with me, texted every night. "How are you holding up? Did you eat?" Then one night I tried logging into Netflix, and my password didn't work. Weird, right? I reset it, used my email, went into device history, and that's when I saw it, Lynn's iPad. She had logged into my account. But that wasn't the worst part. The worst part, there was a profile named Q&L filled with romantic dramas I'd never watched. Every one of them marked watched till the end. At first I told myself, no way, I'm just paranoid. Overthinking, right, but intuition doesn't lie. I hired a tech guy to check security footage from my old apartment, the one Quan still had keys to since we never fully gave it up. And yep, they'd been using it. My so-called husband and my best friend turned my old place into their love nest. They ate my food, slept on my couch, laid on my pillow. All while I was crying into my ginger tea thinking I was the problem. I didn't scream, didn't trash anything. I printed out everything, photos, texts, videos, put it all on a USB stick, dropped it in Lynn and Quan's mailbox, with a handwritten note, a wedding gift, since I heard your love was a secret. Here's the audio. The fallout. It exploded at Lynn's office. She'd been the beloved PR team lead. Quan mutual friends blocked him one by one. And me, I said nothing. Just let them burn on their own. Quan's mom came to beg for forgiveness. I gave her a bowl of popcorn. Yeah, learned that one from story number 1. She cried. I smiled. Bitter, but free. Now I live in a different city. Lynn once posted something sappy on Facebook. Love means never having regrets. First comment, from my older sister. You might not regret, but someone definitely does. I've never hit like so fast in my life, because sometimes the people who betray you aren't strangers. They're the ones who once cried on your couch and said, I just want the best for you. And if you've ever been through something like this, let me tell you, you're not crazy. You're not being dramatic. You just had a heart big enough to trust, and they didn't deserve it. Story 3. My roommate asked me to pay rent. Because she was pregnant with my boyfriend's baby, I used to think I was a chill person. Not naive, not a pushover, just chill. I hate drama, avoid arguments, and I'm the kind of person who'll clean the kitchen even when it's not my turn just to keep the peace. I believed in karma, in the idea that if you're kind, the universe will send kindness back. Well, the universe sent me a punch to the face in the form of a roommate named Vi. We lived together for nearly 2 years. At first, she was lovely, always smiling, lighting scented candles, cooking curry, and saying I made enough to share. I thought I'd found the dream roommate. We shared everything: Netflix, laundry, even the last packet of noodles when it rained. She once told me, "If I ever get married and he treats me badly, you're the first person I'll call to beat him up." I thought I was special. Turns out, I was just pre-reserved. My boyfriend Hui was the quiet type. Not boring, just peaceful. A graphic designer, loved cats, couldn't cook to save his life, but kept trying TikTok recipes anyway. We had been dating for over 8 months. He'd been to my place plenty of times, so of course he'd met Vi often. But I wasn't worried. She was my best friend. Let me repeat that: best friend. Things started to feel off. Vi suddenly told me she was going to stay at her mom's for a few weeks. Family stuff, she said. Around the same time, Hai became distant. No more goodnight texts, no more cat pictures, no more weird recipe experiments. Just busy, tired, and I need space. Then a week later, Vi came back. But she didn't look like someone who'd just nursed a sick parent. She looked radiant. Glowing skin, sparkly eyes, and oddly a slightly protruding belly. I joked, "Got a little secret?" She just smiled, not sure yet. That night, while I was blow-drying my hair, I got a text from Hui. "We should break up. I'm sorry. There's something I need to tell you, but I don't know how." I replied, "Tell me what?" No response. I walked out to the living room and saw Vi sitting on the couch holding a pregnancy test. 2 bright red lines. She looked up completely unfazed and said, "I'm pregnant. It's Hui's. We've been seeing each other behind your back for a while." I felt like I'd been slammed in the head with a hammer. But wait, it gets worse. She kept going. "I know this sucks, but I need your help. Can you move out? I need the space. Also, if you could still cover this month's rent, that'd be great. I lost my job. She just evicted me from my own apartment." I didn't know whether to laugh, cry, or slow clap at her audacity. I said nothing. Didn't need to. I walked back to my room, locked the door, and called my sister, who, thank God, is a lawyer. You know what happens when a lease is in one name only? That person holds all the power. Guess whose name was on the lease? Mine. The next morning, I went to work as usual. That afternoon, I texted Vi. "You have 48 hours to vacate the apartment. If not, I'll call the police and report you for illegal trespassing." She panicked. Called, texted, even emailed me with the subject line, "Please give me another chance." I didn't read it. I was busy changing the locks. 2 days later, I came home to a gloriously empty room. She was gone. Except for one thing. A paper bag. Inside was the pregnancy test. I took it to a clinic. Result negative. She'd faked a pregnancy to kick me out and move in with my boyfriend, who, by the way, I later found out she was also cheating on with some engineer she met on Tinder. I blocked them both, wrote this entire story on Reddit, and honestly, I've never felt so free. Oh, and the hairdryer I bought with Vi, I gave it to my sister with a little note to remind me hair might get tangled, but self-respect never should. If you think it can't get any worse, try being asked to pay rent by someone faking a pregnancy with your boyfriend. The world's insane, but at least now I've cut that toxic tumor out of my life permanently. And that's a wrap for today's video. If you've ever been in a situation that was awkward, ironic, or just so absurd it felt unreal, don't be shy. Drop your story in the comments below. We read everything. Don't forget to like, subscribe to Reddit Echoes, and hit the bell icon so you never miss another episode filled with raw emotions, satisfying twists, and the kind of drama that only Reddit can deliver. And remember, you can forgive, but never forget who deserved to be unfriended first.